Hey there, welcome to MTC Health and Wellness. My name is Sandy, and I want to talk tonight about why diet and exercise can oftentimes make us feel worse. There's definitely been times where it has for me, and it's actually set me back in my health journey and my goals as far as wanting to look and feel my best. It was a hard pill to swallow, but I really had to kind of learn to start listening to my body. Thanks for joining me, and I just want to know that I hope you can walk away after this little video with a few things that you can start doing today to start again, just getting that energy back, the focus to start feeling your best and then looking your best in time as we begin to kind of balance your health in a holistic way. So it's not just about one thing. It's not just about a perfect food routine. It's not just about a perfect exercise routine. It's not even about doing all the things all the time. And that was something that was really hard for me to learn. And to be honest, I'm still learning. So, a little bit of my backstory is 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with celiac autoimmune disease. And before that, I was struggling to survive day to day, to be a mom to my two young kids at that point. So, I had a 2 year old um, a newborn when the symptoms really became obvious. And then they persisted for a few years before I reached out to get help, thinking, I've been told I was normal. I've been given a pill before. I don't want to pay for the testing, and just didn't really feel like I was going to get the help that I wanted and needed from stool to or like colonoscopies or blood work or whatever. And so I just kind of hung on for dear life. And it took really thinking the whole family was sick before I went to the doctor. So I always felt guilty to spend money on myself. I felt guilty to invest in me because I wanted that money to go to the family. And when I finally began to do some investing and I really did some digging to understand what was wrong, it was life changing. So initially, I went to the doctor. I was diagnosed with autoimmune disease. I was struggling to survive day to day, and yet I was bloated and looked like I was pregnant. So I felt fat all the time because I just was so bloated, and my stomach, my gut, my body was just a total disaster at that point. And it had been kind of a downward spiral. My early 20s, I had really, really bad menstrual cycles. I went and sought help. There was no testing to figure out what was wrong. It was just take this pill, even though I didn't need to be on the pill. And it made me angry. It made me gain weight. But I didn't feel like I had another option. I felt like my options were explored at that point. And so I went ahead and stayed on it for years, almost 10 years, most of that time not really needing it. So, yes, I needed it from a hormone perspective. But so that's a little bit about my story. And I would think, okay, I'm gonna feel better. I'm gonna exercise real hard and I'm gonna push myself, and that's gonna make me better. That's gonna help me lose this weight, and that's gonna help me move on. So, but the truth was, when I pushed my body and in exercise at that point, right after being diagnosed, I felt horrible for a few days. Okay, so then I backed off. I started working with a functional practitioner and started working on tuning in my diet, taking out some things that were inflammatory. Kind of honestly doing a lot of paleo, which I do think helped to heal my body, but long term, I needed something else. So that's one of the biggest things is there's no right diet, there's no right exercise routine for everyone, and you have to listen to your body and what it's telling you. If we're exercising and that night or the next day we just feel completely exhausted, then you're probably somehow overtraining, which is adding more stress to your body, which is going to keep on the weight. Same thing with diet. I went really extreme for a long time, and my gut bacteria, my digestion suffered because of it. And then you don't have enough of that diverse good bacteria. You just key in more anxiety, more depression, more inflammation, decreased health. So I was eating all these healthy things, almond, kale, beetroot, all these things, but I didn't have the capacity to digest them, something called oxalates inside of them. So in the end, my healthy diet was even hurting me. So was it much better than staying on gluten and processed food? Absolutely. So you have to kind of assess where you're at in this journey. You know, if it's a typical American diet, then just beginning to follow any sort of keto, paleo, Whole30, any sort of program that will guide you into whole foods is a win-win situation. But long term, we want to work on tolerating and eating a wide variety of healthy foods, right? So, you know, a lot of times people will say gluten, dairy, they're no-goes, and they are very inflammatory in a commercial sense, right? If you just go buy a plain loaf of bread and a gallon of milk at the store, they absolutely can add to a lot of inflammation. However, if you get raw milk and you get ancient grains that haven't been sprayed with glyphosate, it's a completely different story. So even more than whole foods, I am going on a journey of, okay, how close can I get the food that I eat to the way God made it, right? And so especially those really inflammatory ones. I am not going to sit here and tell you that I eat organic all the time and that my diet is, you know, perfectly whole, there's nothing processed in it. That would be a lie. So but those inflammatory foods, the sugar, I use raw sugar, and I at this point don't need much of it for it to be sweet because I've changed my diet for so long. And then also I do the raw milk. I actually a year ago got a cow. We've been milking, and it's a process, and it's stressful and expensive and all the things, but the raw milk really helped my digestion. It was that calcium from a natural source was something my body was really missing to help break down that paleo diet. So that was key. And that was listening to my body and learning and growing and trying new things, right? So, and then when it comes to gluten, I have celiac, so I still don't eat gluten. I'm honestly, I want to continue to work on my health, and even, you know, this is a shocker, but consider eating something called einkorn, which is actually gluten, but it's ancient. It's the way God made it. It's not been genetically modified. I've actually eaten it a few times and tolerated it okay, but it was like a little bit, right? Not a steady part of my diet. So I would never advise any celiac to go eat gluten of any kind, especially this early in my journey. As far as can I tolerate it, can I not, is going to help me. That is something I would never tell you from this perspective where I'm at, but it's just neat how when you study it, the raw milk and the commercial milk, two completely different things. The commercial dairy that's sprayed, or gluten that's sprayed with glyphosate, and the spelt, the einkorn, the other things that are more ancient, haven't been modified, they're not sprayed with glyphosate. It's just a totally different ballgame. They have a lot less. They actually have more protein, and their structure is even different if you look it up. So pretty big key differences there. All that to be said, that was my story, and eating those God-made foods has made a difference, but also working on the stress piece. So a couple of things as why my body held on the weight and why your body can be holding on the weight. So my minerals were completely depleted after all those years of being on birth control, living very stressful life, from working in an acute busy hospital to working really hard in college at the same time. Just push myself, perfectionist, just drive as hard as I can. Don't tell me I can't do it. I'll work harder. Just killing myself, working hard, honestly, to please a lot of people. So that added up after years of chronic stress to really deplete my hormones. They really depleted my minerals. My gut was a mess. I wasn't digesting food. It was throwing inflammatory foods. It was burning my liver. All these things were adding to why I was still holding on to weight. Now, to be honest, very first when I was diagnosed with celiac, like I had been losing weight because of the just sheer malnutrition. It wasn't because I ate good. I couldn't eat much, to be honest, because I was so sick. But then as I got healthier, my body wanted to put weight on because it had been in crisis mode for so long. And this is a missing piece that so many people are not talking about. It's those hidden stressors, right? It's if we have estrogen dominance, we're going to want to hold on to weight. If we have minerals that are unbalanced, every cell in our body is not working correctly. It's just not. It's not working to detox. It's not working to produce energy. It's not working to each and every organ to do its job correctly, ideally. It is a stressor. If our immune system is out of whack. I don't know about you, but it seems like there's so much going around still. And it seems like just sickness after sickness. Well, that immune is throwing more inflammation. It's throwing off the signal between your brain and your ovaries to be able to make hormones correctly, and to balance that stress response. It throws everything off. So there's lots of kind of what we call hidden stressors, gut pathogens, lack of detox, the liver not really doing its job, not drinking enough water, not getting those B vitamins, not taking, maybe something to support that liver, being angry, right? Emotions, emotional trauma, constipation. They say there's something you're holding on to, right? There's always that emotional side of things. And so I'll be honest with you, there was a point where I had a perfect diet and a perfect exercise routine, but it wasn't working because I wasn't working on the stress piece. I still had young kids. I was shoving the food down anytime I was eating. I was stressed about what I was eating, afraid that it was hurting me. And all of that stress was just making my body just either hold on to the weight or pack on the weight. And then you add the thyroid component. My thyroid was out of whack, especially after COVID. I met all the telltale signs. I was subclinically hypothyroid, and my doctor was like, "Yeah, you're normal. It's fine." I'm like, "No, I'm not fine. My TSH has doubled since I got COVID, and I have all these symptoms that go along with the depression, the weight gain. It was not good." And so I found a way to help get it better naturally. So you have options, right? And there are different reasons why your body is clinging onto weight. So let's move on to the tips. What can we do about it, right? Well, just keep in mind it's not one problem, it's different for everyone, and you have to listen to your body. But tip number one, increase your minerals. Okay. One of my favorite ways to do that, and I thought I had grabbed a Body Armor. Here we go. One of my favorite ways to do that, can't see it, can you? Is Body Armor. So this happens to be a zero sugar. It's just a new one they put out. I don't know a tremendous amount about the stevia they put in there, but unless I miss it, I'm not seeing any fake sugar in there. But packed full of vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, and easy to grab, right? Any gas station is going to have it. It's cheaper if you buy it in bulk, Walmart or Sam's Club. Grab a pack of that and start drinking one every day. Unless you've been told otherwise by your doctor to watch sodium, which is a discussion for a whole nother time that makes me really nervous when we are told to avoid any sort of mineral. But that's topic for another time. And of course, with anything, I have to tell you, if you start something new, check with your doctor. Check with your doctor, especially if you're on medications. Okay, so there's that statement. I have to have it in there. But so there is Body Armor. Avocados, cucumbers, pickles, all are full of minerals. If you're eating, I prefer to boil my veggies. If you're eating some veggies and some fruit, you're getting a lot of vitamins and minerals. And let me tell you, anything from food sensitivities to imbalanced hormones to weight is going to come back to vitamin mineral deficiencies on some level. It's not the only answer, but it's part of the answer. So one quick win for you to start feeling better. I can't tell you how many people have come back to me and said, I'm feeling better just from taking in some minerals. All right. So that can also include drinking a glass of water with lemon and Redmond sea salts in it when you first wake up. Huge way to get your adrenals going for energy. Also to help your liver to detox. When you sleep, you repair, you've got to clear that out. So great way to start your morning before that coffee, before you eat. Water with lemon and Redmond sea salt. All right. And number two, I need you to eat, for me and for my clients, eating protein consistently. Again, with those cooked veggies and fruits, you're getting a ton of increased vitamins and minerals when you increase those things. If you have digestion problems with that, add in some ginger, add in some turmeric, make sure you're chewing your food. But eating that stuff consistently over time will absolutely help your body to balance itself, no matter where you're at. More good protein, veggies, fruits. Very helpful. I love to journal my food because it tells me, okay, how many grams of protein have I had? How much more do I need? Because I tend to overeat. I tend to think I need more protein. So I just keep shoveling things in. If I'm documenting it, and I don't do this all the time. I'm currently trying to get some winter weight off, and yay, it's working. But documenting for me and kind of seeing where I'm at, both macros and micros, right? Micronutrients, macronutrients, as I'm balancing those, the weight is coming off and it's great. So I have more recommendations there as well. And then finally, don't forget the stress reduction part. If you're a person that is you're working on your feet all day, you're coming home, you're cooking dinner, you're cleaning dinner, you're getting the kids in bed, you're doing all these things. For you, I would incorporate rest time. I'm not going to tell you to come home and work out really hard at the gym 5 days or 6 days a week. I want you to begin by getting some time where your body is not stressed. Your mind is not racing. Your body is not going, going, going. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Go outside, watch the sunset. Go outside when it's dark. Watch the sun come up, right? The combination of those things will absolutely help your body out of the stress response, which is causing us to hold on to the weight, and into rest and digest. Okay. These are the tips I always start off with my clients first, just right away. I need you to do these things because it'll make a difference. All right. And then if you are a person though that has to sit at a computer all day, I need you to increase your steps slowly, right? I need you to set a small goal and just work on increasing your steps, getting a walk, especially while the weather's nice. So, move, stretch. It doesn't have to be a ginormous exercise routine to get benefit from it. I love exercise routines. I have come to a point where I can go to the gym now and I can work out hard, and I refuel my body correctly. I feel stronger. I feel healthier. I feel energized after that. It took 5 years for me to get to that point. I am not against low carb. I'm not against exercise routines. But for me, I needed the healthy carbs because I am a go, go, go person. I do not sit very often for very long. I needed the rest. I needed the stress piece along with trying to eat whole foods and trying to move. If you are chronically fatigued, start with just a little bit of walking and a lot of stretching, to be honest. That can help to release toxins. It can help your digestion. It's easy kind of things. So, we've talked about a lot of things. Pick one and start doing it for the next week. 1% changes over a period of time compounds, it multiplies, it adds to big things. You don't need to do all these things tomorrow. You need to pick one thing and you need to do it consistently. Then when you're like doing that without thinking about it, come back, put a reminder on your calendar. Okay, at this date, I'm going to have this built in my routine. The minerals are going to be down. Then I'm going to work on increasing my protein. Don't do it all at once. You will burn out and you'll say, well, Sandy's theory just didn't work. All right. So I hope this has been helpful. Look, if you're wanting more, or you just want to talk more about how in the world we can figure out the hidden stressors in your body, then let's get on a phone call. And even if you just want help making a personal plan, let's do that. Let's get on a phone call. Let's talk about what you're eating now, and let's talk about kind of what's best for you. Do you need to move? Do you need to rest? Do you need to, focus on this or that on the food? So stay in touch. Email me, call me, text me. Let's set up a time to meet so I can help you. Thank you so much for enduring this video. God bless you. And as always, if there is something that I can pray for you about, please make sure to reach out. Thank you.